Happy Wednesday, Houston. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Kim Castro. I'm going to run you through our big weather headlines. First and foremost, it's all about the heat this afternoon. And then we've got some building rain chances, and they're not just any ordinary rain chances. It is some moisture coming in from the tropics, so I'll give you an update on that. Right now, though, it's warm for the lunchtime. Temperatures are already in the low 90s for most of us, but even 89 at Hobby Airport with the humidity. Ooh, it feels hot. 97 is the feeling. 93 in Sugar Land feels like 105, so they're certainly feeling the effects of that heat index. And IAH 92 feels like 99. Beautiful view at Galveston right now. Pleasure Pier looking nice and mild. Mostly clear blue sky. The birds are flying. There's a couple fair weather clouds in the distance. Everything looks wonderful for a beach day, so long as, of course, you stay hydrated. 90 degrees for the island right now. Feels like 101. Winds are out of the south. That breeze straight up out of the Gulf is where all that humidity comes from, but it does feel nice when you feel the breeze. It's at 9 miles an hour right now. As we go into the afternoon, we are going to get that high temperature of 100 degrees again. We made it to there yesterday. I'll show you a look at that in a second. We're going to continue to heat up as we go into our Thursday, now pushing to 101. And then by Friday, as rain chances really start settling into the area, that's when we start to knock down temperatures ever so slightly. So we will be trickling back down to 96 degrees with that 50% chance for some showers and storms. Now, this kind of heat is extremely dangerous. Even right now, when we're in the low 90s, once we get to the mid 90s, look at how temperatures really multiply as we go into a space that is confined like a car. It's kind of like a greenhouse effect. The sunlight enters the window through shortwave radiation, and then inside the car, long-wave radiation is what emits back out into space. Well, it's not powerful enough to exit, so it stays trapped in the car, and at that point, 95 degrees in 30 minutes becomes just about 130 degrees. And that's why you always hear those really tragic stories about fatalities inside of a car, because the danger zone is almost instant. So that's why as you're out and about running errands today, because it is so hot, don't leave anything in the car, not your kids, not your pets, nothing. Not your groceries, literally nothing in the car. You should really have that rule of practice all year long, but with this heat, it deserves a reminder. We made it up to 100 degrees yesterday. It was the first one of the season. It was the first time we were in the triple digits since last summer. The last triple digit day for us was August 22nd. So we are certainly ramping things up. We'll feel that hottest point in the afternoon right at 4 o'clock. So that might be a time frame that you avoid, really between 3 and 5. That's when we are flirting really closely with those triple digits, and that is when it is going to be steamy. Your burn time is almost instant. It's about 5 minutes, especially under clear conditions, which we're mostly in for now. So bear that in mind. If you do work outside, if you have to, do a walk outside, wear your sunscreen, keep up with hydration. Temperatures are starting to ramp up. So far, the month of July has been pretty mild, dare I say it. We had 7 days below normal, 2 normal ones. This is a 30-year average, so normal takes the extreme temperatures and the coolest temperatures and averages them out. And 13 above, but only by a couple degrees so far. Now that we're starting to get into triple digit territory, it's more noticeable that, we're getting into the hottest part of the summer. But still, we're not in a heat advisory. Our heat advisory criteria says we have to get up to a heat index value of 108. And this afternoon, we're just under that, around 105 to 106. Now, our neighbors, though, are really hot. Dallas to Tyler, pushing into Louisiana. Omaha, Nebraska, into Iowa, Minnesota, all these areas under that heat advisory with the heat index value of 100 to 110 degrees again for this afternoon. It's all because of this heat dome. This area of high pressure has been building in. It continues to do that over the next few days, and that is what is responsible for the heat. Now, as it starts migrating to the northeast, that clockwise flow creates an opening, and that opening is going to allow whatever moisture that's lingering in the upper Gulf Coast to swing in our direction, and there is moisture there. Right now, we're tracking some scattered storms exiting from the peninsula of Florida into the panhandle, riding along the coastline, really similar to what we saw yesterday, last week I should say. However, this week, the models are hinting at a higher probability of that moisture making its way to southeast Texas. Couple different reasons for that. First and foremost, there's not as dry of a slot north of us. Last week we had the tropical moisture in our vicinity. However, we had some competing air masses up north. Dallas, Austin, San Antonio had a really dry air mass in place, and both of those kind of collided and fizzled out. This week we lack the hair and dust, we lack the drier air, and so those storms have a higher likelihood of sustaining themselves. So that's why I'm increasing rain chances to 20% for your Thursday. Most of us are still staying dry. 50% though for your Friday and your Saturday. Those are both days that you'll want to carry your umbrella with you. Keep an eye on radar and perhaps even alter some of your afternoon plans to make them indoors. Here's a snapshot of tomorrow afternoon and evening. So I think right around the commute home, 5, 6, even 7 o'clock, that's when we'll start to see a few scattered downpours across the area. This is tropical moisture, and so the rain showers are certainly healthy. Those drops are going to be pretty big. And then another burst of energy coming in early for your Saturday. So if you have any early Saturday plans, say like a morning run or something of the sort, monitor that closely. You might be okay running in rain, but you're certainly not if there's any lightning in the area. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. As far as development probabilities are concerned, the National Hurricane Center isn't too gung-ho about this tropical moisture gaining organization. In fact, it only has a 10% chance for this to become the next named storm, which would be Dexter. Of course, I'll keep an eye on this throughout the afternoon updates, and if something changes, perhaps if that moisture scoots further off the coast and does tap into some warm Gulf waters and the chances go up, I'll let you know. Otherwise, this increased activity is going to lead to a slightly more wet outlook for the end of our week and really for the end of the month into August. We are looking at some slightly above average rain chances, but this is mainly for our northern and eastern cities and counties, pushing into Louisiana and eventually to Florida. Now, most of the nation can bank on it being really hot through this stretch too. You'll notice above normal almost for the entire continental U.S. with a special focus in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. But Houston is right up there with some pretty intense heat that's coming our way. If you're looking for a slightly cooler spot, go all the way to the West Coast, the beaches of California, from the Bay Area, San Francisco, down to LA, San Diego. Those spots are looking at a trend that is a little less hot for this time of year. Your 7-day forecast all together looks like this. Let's break it down. So today, another 100-degree day. Now, watch this. If we make it up to 101, then we will tie the daily record for today, because that's what it is. Tomorrow's 101 is looking to tie the record. We've got a 20% chance for just an isolated shower. I think most of us are staying dry tomorrow still. You'll just notice a little bit more cloud cover overhead, and that's your sign that moisture is starting to increase. Eventually, that moisture settling into our upper, mid, and lower levels of the atmosphere are going to give way to some scattered storms. I'm tracking a 50% chance for that for Friday and again for your Saturday. And with rain comes some rain-cooled air. So you'll notice temperatures start coming down to a more comfortable state, I'd say. 96 on your Friday, 92 on your Saturday. And then as those rain chances become a little bit more isolated, you'll notice temperatures slowly starting to rebuild. Not all at once though. Cloud cover is going to linger for your Sunday. A 20% chance for an isolated shower, 30% chance for some more activity Monday, and then by Tuesday we are starting to dry up. 97 degrees will be that high temperature. All right, we're keeping a close eye again on the heat on the tropics. Catch our next newscast at 4 o'clock with meteorologist Pat Kavlin, and our chief meteorologist David Paul is back with you at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Have a wonderful Wednesday.